What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be debuting a brand new franchise rebuild to the channel, and it's going to be the NHL 24 franchise rebuild. And you guessed it, this team we're going to be rebuilding is going to be the Carolina Hurricanes, who finished last year 52-21-9, good for 113 points. Unfortunately, they did lose out in the conference final to the Florida Panthers 0-4. As we take a quick look here at the team, you can see our top players, Sebastian Aho, Marty Necas, and Andrei Svechnikov. It looks like the game is keeping the Chicago Wolves as our AHL affiliate, which I'm pretty sure Carolina no longer, as of this year, is no longer affiliated with that team. Going to keep the divisions the way they are as we take a quick look at some of the overalls around the league. Some notables, of course, the Blackhawks at 83 drafted Connor Bedard, #1 overall, and San Jose down at an 85 overall. Let's see, anything else kind of stand out here? Carolina at a 92, which, no, is not the best overall. Looks like the Rangers right now are the best overall team at 93. Oh, and Colorado, the Avalanche. Very nice. So we would be the third best overall team at 92 there. And let's take a look at some of these options we're going to have. I'm going to turn owner mode off. Salary cap and fantasy draft will stay off. Salary cap will stay on. Firing will stay off. Trades are good. Morale is fine. Fog of War is going to go off. Head coach is not going to edit my lines. Owner mode is off. Relocation good. Auto sign free agents good. Auto sign staff. I'm going to switch that over to on and let the CPU manage the staff while I manage the players. So let's continue. Alright, and let's take a quick look at the settings we're going to use for this. And here's a list of the settings. We're going to have 8-minute periods. I might drop that to 6. We're going to see how the first couple games go. Fantasy draft is off. Penalties are on. No free agents. Yes, autosave. 25 years, even though we're not going to get that far. Difficulty is going to be on all-star. Trade difficulty, we're going to move up to hard. Let's see, anything else here? Oops. Scouting, yeah, we're going to leave with both. I'm okay with that. I feel like I get enough information when it's on auto. And gameplay slider-wise, this is what we're looking at. Attribute effects at 5, broken stick frequency 34, so on and so forth. There's a lot. But this is just a quick look at what I'm going to be playing with to start the year. I did take these from the Operation Sports forum. I used them in NHL 23. I really liked the way they played. And we're going to try them here and see what happens. If something needs adjusting, of course we'll adjust. But I really enjoyed the way that game played. So we're going to keep them for now. There's plenty of games in the season to make sure that everything plays the way you want. As we just scroll through these so you guys can take a look at how we're gonna have this league set up. Here's the checking sliders. Very nice. Penalties. One thing I feel like, especially playing 23, I felt like I got called from penalties way more than the CPU did. I was on the penalty kill constantly. So, it's something we're going to look to improve upon. And here's finally a look at the AI settings. Alright, and here we are at our main hub. As we take a look, we got our first preseason game there, September 21st against the Islanders. The rosters I will be using are the most up-to-date for right now. I forgot what day it said, September 28th maybe? But those are the rosters we're going to be using. So let's take a quick look at our team. Alright, and right now this is how the Carolina team stacks up. We have Sebastian Aho in the middle at center. He is an elite medium first line forward. Superstar. As a quick look at his abilities. He'll have the third eye zone ability, same as last year, and it looks like he has a lot more superstar abilities. Love to see it. Sebastian Aho. And we got him for 1 year left, so it looks like we're going to have to spend some money to keep our young star center around. And last year, in only 75 games, Sebastian Aho put up 36 goals, 31 assists, 67 points, was only a plus minus of 8, but it was a plus 8, not too bad. And then also looks like maybe a career high in penalty minutes at 42. Taking 218 shots, 9 game winners. All right, and next to him, we're going to have Teuvo Teravainen. Excellent player that they picked up with a trade for in Chicago. Love Teravainen. First round pick, 18 overall, as we take a quick look at his abilities. And he'll have the all-alone superstar ability, which means he'll be great on breakaway finishes. Excellent. And he is also under contract for 1 more year, so we're going to have to look to either sign him for a pretty decent deal or ship him off. He's 29 years old. He could be somebody we look at trading to help this team either free up some space and get younger, or we keep building with him and Aho as they near their 30s. We'll have to see. Let's take a quick look at his stats last year. 68 games. It was a down year for Teuvo Teravainen, which is why I could be considering moving on from him. We'll have to see how he plays this year if he can bounce back. But 12 goals, 25 assists for 37 points was the lowest since he came to Carolina when he played 81 games in 16-17. So, I mean, the 2021 season doesn't count. So, disregard the COVID-shortened season. So that's something we're going to have to think about here as the season moves along, what to do with Teravainen and how well he bounces back from a down year. And then, of course, we have the superstar Andrei Svechnikov on the wing. Still only 23 years old. So hard to believe he's still so young. He was the second overall pick in 2018, first going to Ramis Dahlin up in Buffalo. And then third, of course, being Jesperi Kotkaniemi, which we'll talk about him in a sec. As we look there at his stats, he'll have the skilled up ability, which means he's exceptional at performing lacrosse moves. Love to see it. He'll also have Snipe, It's Tricky, and Magnet. As we take a look at his stats from last year, pretty good year. A little down on the goal scoring, but he was hurt toward the end of the last year with that torn ACL. So 64 games, 23 goals, 32 assists for 55 points. No doubt he could have broken his personal record of 69. Definitely look to get him back on the ice and healthy. It'll be nice to have him back. And then after him, we've got Michael Bunting, the new guy coming over from the Maple Leafs. This will be his first year here in Carolina. He's a 4th round pick and by Arizona. Interesting. As we take a quick gander at his stats. He's under contract for 3 years, so if he performs well, could be a pretty sweet deal. Let's take a quick look at what he was able to do last year in Toronto. 82 games, he put up 23 goals, 26 assists, only 49 points. A step down from the year prior, where he had 63 points. Looking to put it back together here in Carolina. Definitely a guy who takes a lot of penalties, 103 minutes last year, and 80 the year before. Very nice. He's been in the NHL full time now, it looks like about 2 or 3 years. So still pretty young there, as he spent a lot of time in the AHL for Arizona. And then we have the electric Martin Necas, or as I'll call him, and you'll hear commentators call him Marty Necas. He comes in at an 89 overall. Love this kid. He finally put it together last year. Had an outstanding year. Very happy to see it. It was great. As we take a look at his stats there. First round pick back in 2017. 12th overall. Finally hitting his stride at 24 years old. He'll have the superstar abilities, elite edges, close quarters, third eye, and magnet. Elite edges, yeah, that's true. You see some of those plays Marty was making, just cutting through the defense. His speed was excellent last year. I was very happy. And this is another guy we're going to have to pay significant money to or let walk, as he's only got 1 year left on his contract. So we've got, right now, Aho Teravainen, and Natchez. If we want to keep this young core together, it's going to be difficult as we take a look at his stats. He put up in all 82 games, 28 goals, 43 assists, 71 points, career highs in all categories, 32 penalty minutes, 240 shots. He was ripping it, 5 game winners, 9 goals on the power play, 1 shorthanded point as he had an assist on somebody, 18 minutes on the ice. Marty Natchez played out of his mind last year. And then we have the youngster Seth Jarvis. Love this kid. Plays with his heart on his sleeves. Got a huge motor. A lot of fun to watch. Very exciting player. And we take a look there at his abilities. First round pick in 2020, number 13 overall by Carolina. And he's another guy who's going to command a pretty decent salary as he's only got 1 year left on his rookie contract. Only 21 years old. If he takes another step forward this year, could be a good payday as we take a look at his stats. His rookie year, he put up 40 points. Unbelievable. As just a 19-20-year-old. 17 goals, 23 assists that year. And his sophomore season followed it up pretty well. Played in all 82 games. Stayed healthy. 14 goals, 25 assists, 39 points. On only 187 shots. So Seth Jarvis is definitely one of the youngsters we can build around, and I'm looking forward to it. And then we have Jesperi Kotkaniemi. A lot of people don't like Kotkaniemi, don't think thinks he's kind of a bust. He's definitely turned his play around here in Carolina, especially last year. I think he played much better last year than he did his first year, just being more comfortable in the system and knowing what Carolina needs him to do. But he was the 3rd overall pick, just behind Andrei Svechnikov. So we take a look here. He's still on his 7-year huge deal that he signed in free agency. So he will be around for a while, pending everything goes well. As we take a look at his stats from last year, played in all 82 games in his second season in Carolina. 18 goals, 25 assists, 43 points. Which, yes, was a career high in all categories. So Jesperi finally put it together last season. Has a chance to build on those numbers. Was excellent on the power play. 11 power play points with 3 goals. So another youngster. Is only 23 years old. Signed that huge contract. So somebody we can continue to build around as long as he continues to get better. And then we have the veteran and captain, Jordan Staal, in the middle. Last year in Carolina, he put up 17 points, 17 assists for 34 points. He's been on the decline, though, the last 3 years. Not terrible for a third liner. But he brings, that the safety in the middle, having that centerman who can win big draws, can play really well defensively. Jordan Staal can do that for you. So he's somebody that we have to prepare to move on from. He's 35 years old and probably won't be here much longer, unfortunately. As we take a look at his stats, number 2 pick overall by Pittsburgh. I've been a big fan of the Staal family, not just because of Eric, who was picked by Carolina and was outrageously awesome. Because Jordan, amazing player. Loved watching him in Pittsburgh. Loved watching him in Carolina, of course. And he has the quick draw ability, which means he's great at faceoffs. That's pretty spot on. Still has 4 years on the deal, but will he be playing when he's 39? Can he still play when he hits 39? We'll find out. And then we have Jasper Fast. Quickie, as they call him in real life. 6th round pick, has made a very good name for himself in the NHL. As we take a look at his stats, played really well last year. Huge fan of him. He's got 2 years remaining on his deal. Believe, he just signed that, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be a brand new contract he just signed this year for $2 million. Last year, Fast put up 10 goals, 19 assists for 29 points. Not quite career highs, but did a lot of other things really well. Played in 80 games. He's been around the league for a while. 31 years old. Another guy we might have to move on from if he can't, if he declines. If he stays the same, still puts up 30 points, cool. I'm okay with that. And on the other side, we have Jordan Martinook, the man who brings the party. Last year, he was just outrageous last year. 13 goals, 21 assists for 34 points in all 82 games. Shot the puck way more than he has in his career with 162 shots last year. What was impressive was his playoff. 3 goals, 9 assists for 12 points in 15 games. His playoff performance last year probably helped Carolina get out of the second round, I think it was, against, I think it was Jersey. I think it was the Jersey series. And then we have the youngster Jack Drury, another very talented center we can build around. Second round overall pick in 2018. As we take a look at his stats, I'm glad he's on the main roster here. He's got one more year on his deal, 78 overall. And then last year in Carolina, he played 38 games, putting up 2 goals, 6 assists, and 8 points in his first real season in the NHL. Or his first real taste of long-term NHL presence. So not too bad. A lot of room to grow. Still very young, 23 years old. There's a lot of really good young talent on this team that just needs to develop. And then we have Stefan Noesen, who just rocked out last year, played out of his mind for his age and what people expected. First round pick by the Senators back in 2011. Noesen is on a 1-year deal for just under $1 million. Guy who played way above expectations last year. 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points in 78 games. Playoff, he had 8 and 15. So he was a monster in the AHL, came up to Carolina and kind of did it again. He provided a lot of needed goals. Was a presence in front of the net most of the year. Was excellent to see. Very happy about him. And that's going to round out our forward group that we currently have here on the main roster. Defensively, we've got some big names like Mr. Jacob Slavin, one of the most criminally underrated D-men in the NHL. I don't know why for the last couple years EA has rated him in the 80s. It's not fair. He's way better than that. And yeah, not happy about it. As we take a look at his stats, a 4th round pick, and is now just a presence on the blue line. Love to see it. His ability, still have the shutdown ability, the send it ability, stick 'em up, bouncer, and quick pass. And he's got 2 years left on his deal, so he's somebody we got to look to sign or move on from in a couple of years. Last year had a decent year, 7 goals, 20 assists for 27 points, not too bad, played in 76 games. And then next to him is the veteran Brent Burns. I've been a fan of Brent Burns since he played in Minnesota. I love his character. I love watching him play. I'm happy he's finally a Hurricane. It took till the end of his career, but he's still playing at a very high level. So I look forward to another year of Brent Burns on the blue line. He'll have Heat Seeker, Thunderclap, Seeing Eye, and Send It. So he's somebody we will fire the puck from the point with. And he's got 2 years left on his $5 million deal. Don't know if he's going to... He might finish that out. He'll be 40 or so when the deal's done. But with his current overall and everything, I think he'll finish it out. Put up really good numbers. 18 goals, 43 assists for 61 points in his first year on the Carolina blue line. His best year since 18-19 when he was with the Sharks. So love to see it from the veteran. And then we have the newcomer, Dmitry Orlov, one of the biggest signings in the offseason for Carolina, and probably for most teams. 85 overall, he'll be probably on the second line. Second round pick by the Caps. He is 32, another veteran presence along the D-line who can get it done. He's got himself a 2-year, $7.7 million deal. Somebody that will be difficult to move on from, but if we need to, we can. Spent time in Boston and Washington last year where he put up 7 points and 29 assists, if my math didn't fail me. And that's good for whatever 17 plus 19 is. My math isn't that good. I think that's like 30 something. So not too bad. Not known for his offensive play. Had one really good year in 21-22 offensively, but more of a defensive man. Can play both spots, so that's nice in case injuries happen. He has some flexibility on the left or right side. And then we have another criminally underrated D-man, Brent Pesce. Pesce here, as we take a look at his stats. Another 3rd overall pick by Carolina. Carolina was really good at finding D-men late in drafts, or at least like not in the first round. Just guys who just could do it and got up to the NHL level and kept doing it. I love Brent Pesce. He's a favorite of mine. Does need a deal this year. He's somebody I know in real life. There's been a lot of trade talk around, especially now with Carolina's D being very full. They have a lot of people in the on the blue line right now. A lot of people that can do it at the NHL level. So it's going to be a challenge to figure out what to do with him. So we take a look at his stats. 5 goals, 25 assists, which should be a career high. Yep, 25 is a career high for a career high in points at 30. Played in all 82 games, so somebody who is very dependable. Will be out there night in and night out. And then we have the man with the beautiful hair, Brady Shea. 29 years old. He was a first-round pick back in 2012 by the Rangers. Put up some really good offensive numbers last year from the blue line. And he's also got 1 year remaining on his contract. So this D might look pretty different next year, as we got to figure out what to do with Brent Pesce and Brady Shea. He had 18 goals last year. Unbelievable. Blew away his career high of 9, which he sent the year before. 20 assists for 38 points. He's been really good since he came to Carolina. And then we have, welcoming back, Tony DeAngelo. This is kind of a weird one, because Carolina already, before they got DeAngelo, already had kind of a logjam on the D with the signing of Orlov. And so they thought when they brought in DeAngelo, a lot of people thought that probably Pesce was on his way out, but Pesce's still there. And then there's, Tony DeAngelo's whole locker room deal. Obviously that doesn't affect the video game, but in real life a lot of people aren't that crazy about it. But he is somebody who can score some points. He was a first round pick back in 2014, has a good shot, good speed. Kind of a liability. He's in for 1 year, but a liability on defense. There were some very good highlights of Sebastian Aho just undressing Tony DeAngelo on breakaways, or at least odd man rushes. So he comes over from spending 1 year in Philadelphia. Also, I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but there's like a weird siren going off. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Had a pretty decent year. 11 goals, 31 assists, 42 points in Philly. After just spending the 1 year in Carolina, where he had 10 goals, 41 assists for 53 points. So nearly a career high as he came over from the Rangers. So we'll see what he can do, as that is our main starting defense. And then let's take a look at our goaltenders. Of course, we have the Great Dane, Frederik Andersen, who will be our number 1. Has still battled some injuries, but has been very, very solid. Been in the Vezina talk the last couple years here in Carolina. Helps when you have that defense playing in front of you. We take a look there at his stats. 3rd round pick by the Ducks way back in 2012. Frederik, I think he just signed a new deal. I think him and Bronza signed new deals. His is a 2-year, $3.4 million, so he'll be around for a little while longer. And we take a look at his numbers. I don't know why it brought me all the way over to points. That's weird. Played in only 34 games, winning 21, losing 11. Technically 13. And only 1 shutout. So it was a down year for Frederik Andersen, but he was coming off being injured late the season prior. And these are still very good numbers for somebody who was coming back from injury. Hopefully he can keep it up. He is. It's been nice having somebody in net that can can hold it down. Haven't had that really since Cam Ward left in Carolina. Nice to see that. And then, of course, the game has Pyotr Kochenkov as the number 2 instead of Ronta. This is going to be a tricky situation. What to do with Kochenkov? Just signed the 4-year, $2 million contract. But we still have Ronta and Anderson. But I also want to get this guy playing time. So where do we go there? Do we try to run like a three goalie system? Can you even do that? That's going to be interesting as we take a look at his stats. Went 12-7 with 6 overtime losses, 4 shutouts. Was absolutely stupendous the last in his pro career so far. He's a Calder Cup champion with the Chicago Wolves, and he's had success here in the NHL level. I mean, so far he's played in 27 games and has won 15 of them. So, pretty darn good for the youngster out of Russia. Excited to see what happens with him. And quickly, just a quick look at some of the Chicago Wolves guys down in our AHL that I'm looking forward to and trying to get them up into the NHL soon. Of course, Ryan Suzuki, who's unfortunately been battling injuries. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year in real life and in game and continue to get better. He had a really good shot in the preseason here in real life a couple of days ago. First round pick, number 28 overall. He's got the skills, just needs to continue to work on them. He's going to need a new deal after this season. We can see what he's done so far in his AHL careers. 50 games last year, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points. Not terrible for Chicago last year. And then another youngster I really like, Noel Gunler, who I think he had a goal in one of those preseason games for Carolina recently. Second round pick back in 2020. Another guy who has a lot of skill. Just needs to develop a little bit more and could see himself on the pro roster. He's got 2 years left on his contract and hasn't quite put it together in the AHL yet. 8 goals, 10 assists last year for 18 points in 31 games, but he's still very young and has plenty of development left. And then we have Jamison Reese, another guy who made an impact last year in the preseason with a couple really nice dekes. Second round pick in 2019. Another guy that could see his way onto the roster within a couple years as things open up. 1 year remaining, so hopefully he has a good year and we have a reason to sign him back. You see there, balled out in Chicago last year. 14 goals, 28 assists for 42 points in 65 games. So, had himself a really good year. Somebody I'm looking forward to eventually, hopefully, bringing up to the main roster. And then defensively, we have Jalen Chatfield, who spent all year in Carolina, but because of the current logjam at defenseman, he's kind of the odd man out right now. He's got 1 year remaining on his deal. Somebody you definitely would like to have back. See there, he played 78 games, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. Very good in his first full year in the NHL. Yeah, hopefully he's somebody we can probably move one of the extra defensemen at the trade deadline, or just in case of injury, we have a very, very capable NHL level prospect we can bring up. So looking forward to that. And then we have Ronan Seeley, another young defenseman I'm looking forward to seeing. 7th round pick, has developed really well back in 2020. Let's see what he was able to do. Last year, 70 games played, 25 total points. Not bad for the young defenseman who can play both sides. Like him a lot. And then Antoni Honka, another guy I've had my eye on for a while. 3rd round pick out of 2019. Has a decent shot. Good skills, a little on the small side, kind of an offensive defenseman, even though the game says two-way. And he's got 2 years left on his deal. And he put up 34 points in 70 games last year for Chicago. So not bad at all. Another guy looking forward to seeing him on the main roster. And of course, because the game is silly, Antti Raanta, who I'm probably going to move up to the NHL and send Kochenkov back down. As you see, Raanta's stats from last year, 19-3, 4 shutouts. Outstanding year last year. I've been nothing but happy with the pickup of Antiranta. Hopefully he can stay healthy as he gets a little bit older. But huge fan of what he's done, and he should be on... Okay, it's just a 1-year deal in here. I thought it was a 2-year for 1.5 million, so love him a lot. And then we have Ponomarev, another young guy. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. I want to get him in the lineup quickly. Alexander Pashin, another young guy I'd love to get developed. Another guy here, Justin Robidas, another young centerman for Carolina. Looking forward to seeing him in a couple years. Zion Nyback, the same. Really enjoy playing with him the last couple years in NHL games. 21 years old winger. Hopefully he can make it up to the show here pretty quick. And then on the D side, Noel Nystrom, another young guy, 7th round pick. I mean, they found some guys late in drafts that are excellent. Nystrom is one of them. Looking forward to seeing him soon. And then we have the 2nd round pick from this last draft, Felix Unger Sorum, something like that. Who's actually had a pretty good preseason so far this year. He was taken 62nd overall in this last year's draft. Not too bad for the young guy. Hepa Salemi, another guy I really like on the D. Little undersized like a couple of these guys are, but if he can develop a good shot, he's somebody who could stick around. Patrick Harmala, same deal. Young goaltender, 3rd round pick for Carolina back in 2021. Has a chance. And then Valle Kuvanen, another youngster I really like here. 2nd round pick in 2021. Just needs to develop a bit of a shot. A lot of his other stats aren't too terrible. Just needs to work on his accuracies. And could be a really good guy. Still only 20. So he's got plenty of time. Alright, and that's going to do it for this introductory video of our Carolina Hurricanes franchise. I'm super excited to get this underway. I'm a huge hockey fan. If some of you have noticed accidentally while playing in my Madden franchise, I will call them periods instead of quarters. I've gotten better at that recently, but yeah, I played a lot of 23. Super excited to get into 24 here. My plan is to simulate or maybe play a couple just to get a feel for the sliders in the preseason. Work some of the youngsters through the lineup, see who's good where. Probably, I probably won't play like Aho, Teravainen, Svechnikov, like some of those guys. It'll probably just be a whole group of like youngsters. But I plan to play a couple of those games, get a feel for it, simulate it, and come back. Episode 2 is going to be the beginning of the season. Now, I know the NHL has 82 games, and that's quite a lot. We're not going to play all 82. My plan right now is to basically play, and let's go through the calendar so I can show you guys this. Alright, here we are. So let's say we're in October here. My plan is to basically play 1 game per week. So for instance, the first week of October here, they have well, I guess that's preseason. Let's pretend they're regular season games at the top there. We have the Rangers, the Penguins, and the Devils. I'm going to pick one of those 3 games. That's going to be the game we're going to play and have a video. Everything else will be simulated and, covered during that video as far as like stats, what happened, things like that, wins, losses. And then we'll actually have one full gameplay. So, and that'll also get us around the league and see a couple teams. Like we'll be able to possibly go to Seattle, or play the Seattle game when they come to us. We could see, the Sharks. We could see the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I feel like that'll give us, and that'll help move the season along. It won't be a slog, hopefully, with 1 game per week. Also, because it just crossed my mind, the first official episode should be up either Friday. No, not Friday. Yeah, Friday or Saturday. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how the beginning of this goes tonight, because I plan on probably going through there. Couple games tonight. But either Friday or Saturday, the first video should be up. Yeah, cool. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, or comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.